Whew. Leo Carlsson is filthy. He scored this silky shootout goal versus the LA Kings. Just so smooth and effortless. He is now 2 for 2 on shootouts in his career, including this other filthy one versus the Avs. Look familiar? Hope that gets the ketchup bottle flowing for him, as Solani would say, because he hasn't scored a goal since December 5th. He's had flashes of brilliance every night, dangling or making amazing passes, but it kind of seems like he has hit that rookie wall. It also doesn't help that he's being sandbagged by suboptimal line mates, mainly just Reinstrom. Tonight, it was Henrique and Killorn. Rico I don't mind so much because he is so good and is so worth a first-round pick. Other team GMs listening, hopefully. When Zegras comes back in, hopefully less than 2 weeks, that should fix that, though. Then Gauthier in like a month, too. That Leo Cutter Z line is gonna slap. I guess Leo's shootout goal was so good, Cronin was dazed or something, because he decided to put Alex Killorn as the third shooter, and the Ducks would lose 3-2 in their 161st meeting versus the Kings. I'll talk about that decision at the end, but let's get to the game recap, because this was a fun game. But this isn't a rivalry, right? If you know, you know on that one. If you were just tuning in, you might have been confused who was the home team, because the Kings wore white in their terrible tinfoil hats, and the Ducks wore black instead of their scheduled 30th anniversary jersey. Not sure what happened there, but the game opened with speed and intensity. Hazy even said it felt like a playoff game. I think he has forgotten what those are like, but it was an entertaining first nonetheless. Starting with a Silverberg goal on the power play. Rico wins the faceoff back to Fowler, who passes it to Strome, and Sylph snipes it perfectly over Riddick's pads off the pipe and in. And I gotta say, that may be the loudest I've ever heard Crypto after a Ducks goal there. Ducks fans in the house! The Kings would then answer and get a power play of their own, and Fiala would snipe it over Gibby's shoulder, who was screened in front. Carlsson had a breakaway late in the period, but he lost the handle after making Riddick bite. At one point, the Ducks had more shots in the first than all of the Habs game. I say at one point because the NHL kept taking shots away from them. But shots don't matter, it's the goals that do, and the Ducks would take the lead back in the second, as the Kings somehow get a power play from this scrum. But the puck don't lie though, as Rico steals it, creating a 2-on-1 with Carrick, who just has to redirect it in with his skate blade. The Kings would get another power play a few minutes later, and this time it's Doughty who would tie the game up on a point shot that beat Gibson, who was again screened in front. And now it's 2-2. All the goals scored in this one were on special teams, so that's interesting. Too bad the Ducks couldn't buy a power play in the third. There were some very obvious trips and hold no calls, but both teams battled back and forth. The Kings had the better of play, but thanks to Gibson, this game would go to OT, and ultimately the Kings would need a shootout to beat the 30th ranked Ducks. Dubois and Moore scored similar goals, and Carlsson would get his filthy goal. But the Ducks can't answer, as Coach Crow makes a questionable decision by making Killer the third shooter. He could have used Frank Vetrano, or even Silverberg, who had scored earlier in the game. Or heck, one-armed Troy Terry would have been better. He was banged up midway through the third when he was checked into the boards awkwardly, and he appeared to be favoring his shoulder. He went to the locker room with about 9 minutes left in the game, but he did return in the final minutes. The hit looks similar to Minty's separated shoulder injury, so hoping for the best news today, but wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't play tonight against the Preds at 5 p.m. at Ponda Center. I'm guessing Dosty will be in the net, but Coach Crow also said, we'll see how Gibby does. So based on his performance in this one, I also wouldn't be shocked to see Gibby go again, as he made 48 saves on 50 shots. And he was the sole reason the Ducks got a point. But honestly, there's no reason to play Gibby on the back-to-back. But we'll see. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and go Ducks!